Welcome to today's yoga practice. My name is Ashley, and I'm actually a graduate of MSUM, and I started my yoga journey way back several years ago, my senior year of college. I took a class for credit, and it changed my life. So now I live out in Washington State, west of Seattle, and I own this yoga studio, Ash's Yoga. And I'm very excited to be here today to bring you a yoga practice for busy college students. So those of you who are looking to get out of your head and onto your mat, so we're going to work on breath, we're going to work on movement, different poses, and this is more of an intermediate flow, but I also have a beginner flow as well. So you can go back to that one, Yoga 101 for college students. This one is going to be just a nice flow that gets you going and gets you feeling good. So if you're feeling really busy and just way out there, let's take it to the top of our mat. Take your feet kind of wide and fold forward. We're going to start in this bent over position just to allow ourselves to relax a little, to get rid of any distractions, shake out the head. And this is more so for like an evening practice when we're already sort of loose already. So we bend the knees, grab the elbows, and relax. Create some creativity within the mind and blood flow through the body to help you throughout the course of your day. And this will be a little bit more intense of a practice, a little more power to this practice. So enjoy it. And do what you can, taking breaks whenever you need to. Take a deep breath in through the nose and let it out through the nose. Do a few more deep breaths. Can you sink a little deeper each exhale? Now from this position, grabbing those elbows, reach the elbows forward as you inhale, strengthen out in the back, straighten the back to strengthen. Exhale, lower down. Do that again, lengthen those elbows forward, and exhale, lower it down. One more time, lengthen through that back, lower down, exhale. Release your hands to the ground, bend the knees, and slowly roll yourself up to your standing pose. Roll the shoulders back. Standing tall, let's take our feet a little closer together. They might be big toes touching or feet hip distance apart. That's up to you. Grounded through the feet, palms face forward, mountain pose, also known as Tadasana. Arms reach up, take an inhale, connect the hands at the top, and draw your hands down to your heart, pressing the palms together actively. Shoulders back, standing tall, close your eyes. Become again mindful or aware of your breath. Use it to guide your practice, guide your life, guide each moment that you're in, backing off whenever your breath gets a little bit choppy or labored, and when your breath is fluid, knowing that we can move on or intensify that practice. This is a great time to set an intention, and what that means is simply, what do you want to cultivate, or what do you want to bring to your practice today? What do you want to bring to your life right now? It can be as simple as saying peace, or an affirmation like, I am strong, or I've got this, or I just want to make it through 10 minutes of yoga. That's great too. It could be physical, emotional, less of a goal, more of what can we bring in right now? How do we want to feel? Bring your hands down next to your sides with that intention in mind. Reach those arms up. Take an inhale. Exhale, open the arms, diving down. Hinge at the hips as you fold forward to Uttanasana, or forward bend, forward fold. Lift halfway up, hands on the floor on your shins for a half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands to the ground. Step both feet back into plank pose. So you can do a few steps back. Plank pose, shoulders are over the wrists. Toes are down, heels lifted. And we are going to bring a little bit more power into this. So shift your weight forward, tippy toes, shoulders over wrists, and then take it back. Do that 2 more times. Shift forward, take it back. Inhale as you shift forward. Exhale, shift back. Spread those fingers a little wider. Shift forward from your knees or your toes. Hug the elbows to your rib cage to 90 degrees. Chaturanga Dandasana is this pose. Lift your heart forward, flatten the feet for upward facing dog. Knees can be down or lifted. Shoulders back, chest and collarbones spread open. Up dog. Then look down using your core strength. Hips go up and back, press into the hands. Gaze towards the feet. Flip over the toes, downward facing dog. So now that I've talked through this first one through these poses, the next few will go a little bit faster. Press the heels down towards the floor. First down dog. Fingertips pressing down, especially through the L shape of the thumb and index finger. Hug the elbows inward and act as if you were turning your hands outward, like you're opening some jars. Try to create as much space as you can between the shoulders and the ears. Tailbone lifted, belly pressing towards the thighs, and the heels may or may not touch the ground. Bend your knees, look forward, step to the top of your mat. Lengthen into that half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Now we're going to flow through that, get out of our minds and just into that breath and movement. Inhale, reach up. Let's go right back down. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen through the back, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands down, step back to plank pose. Take one deep breath in as you shift forward up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, hug the elbows to the rib cage, descend. Inhale, press the heart forward, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One breath. As you exhale fully, bend the knees, step or hop forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Rise up tall, inhale, reach up. Again, we'll do that 2 more times. Forward fold, sun salutation A, this is called. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, step or hop back to plank pose. Deep breath in, shift high on the toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, lifting the heart, up dog. Exhale, hips up and back to the sky. Downward facing dog, one breath. Bend the knees, step or hop forward on the end of the exhale. Half lift, forward fold. Rise up, inhale. And right back down again, exhale. One more time. Half lift. Exhale, step or hop back, plank. Shift forward. Chaturanga, exhale. Up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog. Good job. One more deep breath. Bend the knees, step or hop forward. Half lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Chair pose. Bend the knees, sit back. Feel into the quads, the legs as you open those arms, reach up. So let's take the hands to your heart and pause here. I want you to feel something, so that's why we're going to pause for a moment. Instead of shifting forward, take those knees back. Sit low, palms pressing together. Come back to your intention for your practice. This is called Utkatasana or chair pose, or sometimes called the fierce pose. Wiggle the toes, make sure weight's in the heels. Can you get lower? And we start sun salutation B in chair pose. So let's reach up and inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift. Plant the hands down, step or hop back again to plank. An extra breath to shift forward on the tippy toes, sending the shoulders forward, chaturanga. Inhale, lift the heart, up dog. Downward facing dog. To start our lunge series with our sun salutation B, we'll take that right leg and lift it up behind you. Heel towards the sky, but not too high. Bend the right knee so that the knee points down and the heel is towards your backside. Lift your left heel. Draw the right knee forward in between the hands. Flex the right foot, look forward. Step between the hands. Let's take that back heel and spin it down for our warrior stance. Reach those arms out and up. Soften the shoulders. We'll do the first one, of course, a little slower. Torso, chest, shoulders, hips facing the front of the mat. Press the palms together. Look up and draw the thumbs back. Body up. Bend that right knee. As you exhale, take the hands back to the ground. Step back to plank pose. You can skip the chaturanga, the push-up, and go straight to down dog, or flow with me, often called a vinyasa flow. Lift your left leg this time, heel up behind you, bend the knee, right heel lifts, create space, knee forward in between the nose, between the elbows. Flex the left foot, look forward, step between the hands. Warrior one on this side, back heel down to the floor, rise up. Again, everything facing the front. Maybe a wider stance for our warrior one. Hug the lower abs in, press the palms, reach back. Squeeze through the back glutes, that back leg. And let's take it back down as you exhale, hands to the floor. Lift the back heel, step back, plank. Inhale, shift forward, exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. One breath. Bend the knees, step or hop forward. Half lift. Forward fold, back to chair pose, bend those knees, sit back, reach up. Let's take the hands back to our heart again. We'll do that one more time, okay? So we're in our chair pose. We're feeling, we're breathing. Maybe getting a little lower. One more Sun Salutation B, again, a little faster, but still with the breath. Not faster breath, just faster transitions. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Half lift, inhale. Exhale, plank pose, step back. Inhale, shift on the toes, forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift your right leg up behind you, inhale. Bend the knee, exhale. Step forward between the hands. Back heel comes down. Rise up for warrior one. Connect those hands, soften the shoulders. Reach the hands back, look up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back to plank pose. Shift forward. Exhale, lower elbows in. Up dog, inhale. Downward dog, exhale. Lift the left leg this time. Bend the knee, step forward, exhale, low lunge. Back heel spins down to warrior stance, rise up. Connect the hands, exhale, bending into that front knee. Press the thumbs back, look up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the ground. Last vinyasa in our warm-up. Back foot steps back, shift forward, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice job. We're going to then bend the knees as you exhale, step or hop forward. Half lift. Forward fold. Rising up, open those arms up, reach up, stand up all the way. Then take your hands by your sides. Gonna hit up a few more poses, but we'll keep it simple by simply stepping the feet wide on our mats. So a few standing poses, we're getting into heat building. And then as we progress into our practice, we'll do more stretches and more of that passive, feel good, relaxed type of stuff. So to start with, take your right foot, or pick a foot, really. Take a foot, turn it to the side, bend the knee. So our hips are open. In warrior one, our hips are closed. Let's open up those hips. Open the arms, warrior two. Look over the front hand, that bent knee side, and press into the pinky toe of that right foot. We are going to pause. We want us to feel a little bit more. How? Hug the heels together, squeeze it, activate inner thigh, hamstring. Press down through the front pinky toe to keep the knee from collapsing in. And then as an option, lift the front heel. You'll feel something different. Can you keep that front heel lifted as you flip that front palm? Reach straight up, left hand or back hand down the back leg. Look up towards that hand. Front thigh still stays parallel to the ground. And let's tilt it back to warrior two. Can you keep that front heel lifted as the elbow comes to the thigh? Other hand reaches straight up. Open up. Look up. Back to warrior two. Front heel stays lifted. Hold it. Look over the front fingertips. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Heel down. Straighten that front leg for a moment. And then rebend. Without the heel lift, let's go back and forth. Flip that front palm, reverse warrior. Side angle, exhale. 2 more times, reverse warrior. Side angle. Reverse, keep that knee bent. Side angle. Reverse warrior, straighten the front leg. Try this, take that front hand, reach forward. Shift forward, bend the back knee. Reach, 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 lift off. So you might take that right hand towards the ground. That front hand towards the ground. Leg lifted, look up or look down. It does help to look down at first or even to grab a block for half moon. Balance, press down, get rooted through the toes, the heel. Less weight on that bottom hand. And then slowly bending into that front knee, that bottom knee, step back and lift up. Turn back into that star shape. Other side. Other toes point, bend the knee. So instead of lifting up this hip, let's keep them level. Warrior 2. So this is our strength building pose and series to really activate and feel what's going on in the body and also build strength so that those stretches will feel good and our bodies will feel good when we're not moving maybe as much as we normally would. So let's open those arms. Look over the front fingers. Front now is over that bent knee. You can close the eyes even and just feel. Heel squeezing, everything pulling in towards the midline of the body. Finding that power and strength that we all have within us. Keep the arms reaching longer. Keep that knee bent. Oh, we're gonna lift that heel this time. The bent knee heel, lift it. Pause. There's a tendency to lean forward. Let's keep it back, shoulders over hips. Flip that front palm, reverse warrior, reaching straight up, not back. Let's reach straight up as you softly send the back hand down the back leg. Bend a little deeper. This is where a mirror could help because you can notice when you start to straighten, let's keep it bent. Okay, let's bring it back to warrior 2, elbow to your thigh, other arm reaches straight up. Bend a little deeper. This heel lift is really an intensification, so you're welcome to keep it down. Check in with your breath. It will tell you. All right, lift back to warrior 2, heel down, back and forth. Let's follow the top hand. So reach up, look up, reverse warrior. And then switch your gaze to the other hand as you lean forward to our side angle. Reach up, reverse, side angle, reverse, side angle, one more. And reach up, straighten the front leg, reverse, and we'll take off. Lean forward, bend into the front knee, bend the back leg, lift off. Look down to start at that bottom hand, maybe about a foot in front of your toes. Activate through that top glutes, shoulders spread, reaching long. Imagine energy shooting through the fingertips, through the heels, the crown of the head, all your distal points of your body. Good, and step it back. Warrior 2 will come into that star shape again. Hands behind the back. Feet parallel to each other. Press the palms together. Look up and fold it down. Relax, release. Good, bend the knees and rise back up, lift up. We're going to combine what we did in the beginning. Let's step to the top of the mat. Our sun salutation with our warrior poses and that up to that half moon pose, okay? So combining our sun salutation flow with the warrior lunges and half moon. So stepping to the top. This will be the peak of our class. Take an inhale, reach up. Exhale, open the arms forward, fold. Half lift, inhale. Plant the hands, step or hop back to plank pose. Shift forward, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward dog, inhale. And downward facing dog as you exhale. Good, lift your right leg, take an inhale. Bend the knee. Lift your left heel, step between the hands, exhale. Back heel spins down, warrior one. We'll go to warrior two, but just be mindful that we might need to separate the heels a little bit or adjust the front foot to be in line with that back arch. Flip the front palm, reverse warrior, inhale. Exhale to side angle. Inhale, reverse warrior, straight leg. Half moon, reach forward, bend the front knee, lift off. And back to warrior two. Left hand, back hand comes forward to meet the front. Back heel picks up for a lunge. Reach up, inhale. Hands to the floor, exhale, step back to plank. Inhale, shift on the toes. Exhale, lower down. Up dog, inhale. Exhale to downward facing dog. Now it's that left leg that rises. Step between the hands, exhale. Back heel down, more of a heel to arch alignment. Rise up. Open up to warrior two. Again, adjust the feet as needed. Flip the left palm, reverse warrior, reach in the left hand. Up high, reverse or side angle, tilt forward. Back to reverse with a straight leg, front leg. And we shift it forward, bend that front knee, bend the back leg, lift off. Flat body. Straight up and down. And step back to warrior two. Right hand comes forward to meet the left. Let's pick up the back heel as we do that. Reach up, inhale. Exhale, hands to the floor. Step back, plank pose. Shift high, forward, lower down. Up dog, inhale, and downward facing dog. All right, now we're gonna stretch it out a little bit more. It's called pigeon pose. So right leg comes forward, knee to right elbow. Turn the shin, leg across the mat, and place it down. Extend the back leg. This is a great stretch out for those of you who have tight hips. Of course, this might be a little intense, so you can also do this seated or lying down. So you take a deep breath in, extending through the back leg, tucking in or hugging in the ankle as much as you need to, and then crawl it down, walking down to the forearms or maybe the forehead touching the floor. And simply breathe. We can still be quite active in this pose, but it's a bit more passive as we can allow gravity to do its thing and to get into more of the stretch. And then take 2 more deep breaths. Walk your hands back up under the shoulders, tuck the back toes under. Lift that right leg up and back, bending into that knee. Let's open the hip, do a little external rotation, sometimes called a scorpion dog, and rotate through that right ankle a bit, maybe squeeze the glutes. And you've got an option. We can stay here, awesome, good place to stretch out, or shift slightly forward, shoulders come forward, as your right foot then sends way back behind you and finds the floor. Kickstand. Hips up, reach with that right arm beyond your gaze, beyond the front of your mat. We've got what we call sometimes wild thing or a flipped down dog. Look to where your hand's gonna go, again, your right hand. Pivot on the left foot, lift that right leg back up and take that right foot down to the floor. Shift forward to plank pose, chaturanga, up dog, downward facing dog. Vinyasa in between. Lift that left leg this time. Knee to left elbow, turn the leg across. We've got pigeon pose, other side. Half pigeon. So extending through that back leg. Lifting that heart nice and tall. Good hold here, just adjust as needed. Knee in line with the shoulder, and we'll walk the hands down into more of a passive, nice little stretch out. Now, a lot of things, a lot of emotions or thoughts or frustration can come up in this posture in any deep hip opener. It said that the hips are emotional storage places. It's where we store a lot of our emotional baggage. So things might come up, and the longer you hold, the more you might feel on this. So if you feel certain things, just acknowledge it. Again, no judgment, don't try to change. Just stay there and breathe a little bit deeper. Good, let's walk our hands back up under the shoulders. Take a deep breath in. Tuck the back toes under. Lift that left leg up and back. Give it a nice open hip version, but keep equal weight in the hands until and if you flip. Maybe some ankle rotations or hip rotations, movement. If you want to flip, shift forward more into the hands, more weight to the hands, less for that left leg to drop. Take the leg behind you, make a little kickstand side plank, reach the arm up and then over, hips then come up. You can decide how deep you want to get into this pose, this wild thing. Right leg stays straight, left knee is bent, good support, good base, and look towards your hands. And look down to where the hand typically goes, lower the hips a little bit. Pivot onto the ball of the right foot as the left leg picks up. And then place the foot back down. Shift forward, plank pose, chaturanga, up dog, and downward facing dog. Nice job. We're going to come down to the ground. So take your knees down, sit back, and swing the legs around. So feet together, knees apart. Nice little post pigeon pose. Bound angle. Grab onto those feet, deep breath, and lean forward. Press the elbows into the thighs. Get a little more stretchy, a little deeper. Without rounding the back, try to keep that spine long. All right, lift back up. Now for a little core strength, take the knees together. Only the best. Let's lean back. Get ready for boat pose. Shoulders back, chest lifted. Lift the legs about parallel to the floor. Hands can be on the thighs or reaching forward. Take an inhale, right? Hold it here. Exhale. No holding the breath. For a little more challenge, or if you're feeling like you want more, you would straighten the legs. It's a little more challenging, and it does create more of a round in the back, so we have to stay conscious and lifted. So we'll do it 5 times, boat pose to canoe pose, or high boat to low boat. So we lift and inhale without touching the ground with the feet or the hands. Exhale, extend the upper body and the toes, reaching long. It's our canoe pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Lift, lower, one more lift, lower and pause, hold it, hover, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lift back up, take the feet down, hug the knees and sit tall. Nice job, separate the feet about hip distance apart, hands behind you, press into the feet and lift the hips. One more core work exercise. So this feels nice. It's an opening reverse tabletop. So pressing into the heels, send the hips back behind the hands. Keep the hips lifted. That's 1. And we lift back up. Inhale up. Exhale, hips go back. 2. Try to keep space between the floor and your backside. So we've got 3. Exhale. We press into the floor. Pull the chest up and in, and if that doesn't happen, that's okay. And one more, 5, hold it, hold it, hold it, and lower down. Nice job. Reach up, forward fold, grab onto the feet, the toes, the legs. Good, and making your way down to our backs. Simply, well, feet to the top of the mat, wherever they are. You can point the toes, reach forward, but start to roll down. So you've got this rounded spine, which is fine here. Use your core strength, reach forward, roll down to the floor. Reach your hands behind you, feet in front of you. Hug your knees in. Rock side to side. Nice, and simply just take the feet down to the floor, mat distance, so a little wider, knees bent. We're gonna do a windshield wiper side to side, so right to left, knees helping to release that low back. It's also a massage for the glutes if they're sore at all. And then bring your knees back up to the top. Take the feet just a little closer, about hip distance. Palms down, press into the feet, lift the hips. Shoulders squeeze together. We'll do 2 back bends, so you can choose to stay in bridge pose where we are, or the next one, perhaps we've got a deeper back bend of wheel pose. So lower down slowly, take a little break, a couple deep breaths, maybe knock the knees together. And then second one, if you want to stay with that bridge pose, awesome, go back into it. Or we head to wheel pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Elbows to the sky, hands pressing down by your shoulders. Press into feet and hands and try to lengthen both of those. Heart pressing back towards your gaze or where you're looking. It's very energizing, these back bends. And lower back down. Pause. Just take a moment. Legs then will go straight up. We're just going to use this pose today. There are other inversion options, such as shoulder stand and all of that. But today, I'll stay here. You do what you want. It's your own home practice. We're going to stay in legs up the wall just to get the sensation of a bit more relaxation. We're ending very soon. So let's allow that blood flow to circulate out of the toes, into the upper body, and all the way around. Relax your hands wherever it feels nice. And this is a great pose for the end of the day, or if you've been running around a lot, or really if you've been doing or not doing anything, traveling, running, being active, sitting a lot. You could even bend the knees or place a block underneath that low back or a blanket, or actually kick your legs up against an actual wall. All right, bending those knees slowly. Let's take the feet down to the floor. Open the knees up wide, feet together, and pause. So we're coming down. After all of the work we've just done, we need to allow our bodies to absorb and just take all of that in to help us transition to the rest of our life. So the next and final pose, long holding pose we do is called Shavasana, or corpse pose, but we'll just call it Shavasana because it's a cool name. But we'll extend the legs. It means to surrender. So just surrendering your body, allowing this time for quiet, for peace. This is often the most challenging yet the most beneficial pose that we can do in any of our yoga practices. So can we remain still for a couple minutes, eyes closed, body melting, mind wandering without attachment. And if you do attach, bring it back to the breath, in and out through the nose. Let's spend a couple minutes here and then we'll conclude together. All right, let's take a deep breath in. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your arms up overhead, sending your arms long, toes pointed, and then hug your knees in close to you, just to bring some movements back to the body, rock side to side, and then roll onto your side. You can pick one. One arm might be a pillow, or you just stay comfortable. Stay there for a breath. Acknowledge what you just accomplished. And let's come back up to our seated pose. So we end the way that many yoga classes will end, and it's just an acknowledgement from me to you. So let's take our hands to our hearts and a simple single breath in and let it go. Thank you so much for joining in this practice. As the yogis say, the light in me honors and sees the light in you. Thank you for joining. Namaste. And that was our yoga to get out of your head and onto your mat for those of you who live busy lifestyles. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope to come back at you with more yoga, and you can always also join my live streaming classes, and the schedule should be posted wherever you see MSUM Wellness Center schedules available.